Hi everyone, I'm the Plant Propagator and welcome to my channel. If you like my videos and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you could click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. Today, it's a kind of a sad day in the laboratory here in Southwest Florida, and that's because I've got just a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of flaskings to do because I'm heading back to my old university laboratory for about a month and a half, and I need to clean out my old laboratory. The university, I think, has made an offer to somebody to fill my old position, and my time there and my access might be a little bit limited. So I need to start cleaning things out, but I need to head back there for about a month and a half, maybe even 2 months to get things taken care of. So I'm leaving here and I have to make sure that I do the final things that I need to do and that everything is good. So I got a lot of work that I need to do today, and one of those things that I need to do is some flasking of some seed capsules that I have. And I have some seed capsules that normally I would not consider to be quite ready yet, but because I won't be here for a while, I'm risking it and taking them off a little bit earlier than I normally would, and hopefully the seed in there is mature enough so I'll get some good protocorm formation and plant formation from these guys. But let me just show you some of these. And the first one I want to show you, it's just, I mean, this is a large it's a large seed capsule. This is pretty big, and I got them numbered here because what I'm going to do is sterilize them all in the same container. I'm a little bit short of sterile water, so I don't have enough water so that I can't sterilize them in separate containers and rinse them all separately and things like that. But I've got, here's what I got. I got some seed capsules to do, and what I do is I have them marked with numbers in a Sharpie, and I'll take pictures of them and record them very well. You know, the tags are all here, but I'll put them all together and sterilize them all together so that I can get everything done today. And those are all just different Cattleya crosses that I have. Some of them I'm pretty excited about, some not so much, but what I do is I make a lot of crosses, and a lot of them don't go. They the capsule just does it, no fertilization. The capsule doesn't, it falls off, the flower falls off, and so these are ones that I have that are ready to go. These are not all of them, but these are the ones that I think are close enough to be ready to go. They're about 5 months old, and ideally I want to wait till 6 months for these, but the problem is, again, I'll be at the 6 month time point, I'll be gone, and I'm a little worried about the capsule splitting and spilling the seeds out and me not being here for that. So I'm going to do them all today, which means a lot of plating. You know, as far as this is the biggest capsule, and again, this thing is huge, and you know, the number of seeds that are in these capsules are probably between 100,000 and 1 million. I would peg this monster as 1 million. It's a huge plant, and the capsule just grew really. I mean, it's big. It grew very quickly. As a comparison, here's another capsule that I harvested today, and this one here is from an encyclia, and the plant that this came off of just isn't looking really good. This is one of the encyclias that was gifted to me, and I split it was a large plant. I split it up into a number of smaller plants, and there was a flower, and I selfed the flower, one flower on one plant, and I selfed it. And a capsule formed, but it just, it didn't get very big. It's really early. It's only been 3 months on this guy, so I don't know if I'm going to get anything out of this, but as you can tell, it started to turn yellow, and when the capsules start to turn yellow, you gotta you got to flask them. You got to pull them off and see what's good. If I'd have let this go longer, I'm sure it would have fallen off. So we'll take a look at this. So what I'm going to do is prepare these capsules a little better. I got to record everything in my lab notebook, and then I will sterilize them in bulk in a 50% bleach solution, and I use 50% of the Clorox as shown right here. And I think this Clorox concentration is, I'll have to check on it, I think it is 0.75 I'm sorry, 7.5% sodium hypochlorite. I'll check and make sure of that. So I use a 50% solution of this with 1 drop of my laboratory grade soap per 100 mils. And I think with all these capsules, I'll probably have to make 250 mils, so 2.5 drops. So 2 big drops, 3 small drops, however it comes out, of the soap with the 50% Clorox solution. I'll sterilize for 20 minutes, I'll rinse it, and then we'll see what we have. So I don't think I need to show you, I've been through this before, I don't think I need to show you the the rinsing of the water in the capsules, but maybe either when I'm excising, when I'm exposing the seeds and plating the seeds, I may record that. If not, I'll show you the end result of all that. And again, lots of things going on today, so I got to get this. All right, so next step is to prepare and sterilize these seed capsules. And we're back. So it's been a few hours since I signed off and said I was going to sterilize the seed capsules and put them in culture, and I did all of that, and there was a real mix of results that I had with the different capsules. Some of them were just loaded. I had 1 capsule, unfortunately the Encyclia tempensis, that was the small one that I showed you that turned yellow a little prematurely. I opened it up and it was clearly there somehow fungus got inside. So the interior of the capsule was browning a little bit, and under the microscope you could see fungal mycelium on the inside of the capsule. I'm not sure how it got in, but it was there. And so I didn't even bother to plate the seed out of there since it was so immature, and you could see the mycelium in there. So the seed, I'm sure, was all contaminated. I might have been able to, if the capsule would have been further along, I might have been able to take out the seed and then sterilize the seed, but the seed were just too immature, so it wasn't worth it. I had some of my capsules, the next to the last group that I did, that capsule had very few embryos in the seed. So I looked at it pretty carefully, and I only saw just 1 or 2 embryos in the plate. Now, you're going to see the embryos as they develop, but I think I know what to look for, and I certainly didn't look at all of them because there's tens of thousands of seed that I plated in each of these dishes. So you can't see all of them, you can't screen all of them. And the embryos within the seed are pretty small, so they're hard to see. But some of them were loaded. This last one that I did, and this capsule right here, and here is, just so you can see, here's the seed. I'll take it out and show it to you. So this is what the seed looks like. It's in the bottom of the dish here. And this was, for some reason, it was the last one that I did, and this had the highest frequency of seed that contained the embryos. It wasn't necessarily the one that was pollinated the first. Actually, the one that had the very few seeds was one of those, it was the earlier pollinated of all that I did. And these are all just a little premature, but the embryos were clear in some of them. They're big enough, so I think I'm going to get a lot. I have this last batch that I did that I just looked at. And hold on a second, I'll get the cross. This first one was Momolani Rainbow times Orglade Discovery Shimizu. and this was the Phalaenopsis from this. This is not a plant that I have, but the Phalaenopsis from this I obtained with the kind consent of Rob at Odom's Orchids in St. Pierce. And so I've actually used a few where I got the Phalaenopsis after he came to an orchid meeting in Southwest Florida here, and I've been holding on to the Phalaenopsis for a while, and I made the cross, and there's actually a couple. I had a couple of successful crosses that I harvested the seed from today that were from the Phalaenopsis that Rob was so kind as to let me borrow. So this is the last one, and I'm hopeful about this. This is a cross between a small splash petal and a larger, really nice, colorful, fragrant cattleya. So, and again, this one was loaded. Also, what I have today that I haven't done yet is I need to take the Phalaenopsis seeds that I showed you maybe a couple, 3 weeks ago. And there are so many, there's so many Phalaenopsis seeds that are starting to form. They're starting to germinate, I should say, and there's so many of them I have to dilute them out. So I'm going to take those, maybe add a little water to the dish, swirl it around, and pour some out in new dishes. I have 12 dishes. I probably have 10 to 20,000 seeds, good seeds per dish, and I just need to dilute it out a little bit because I'm not going to be here. It's just going to be a solid lawn in a month and a half when I get back, and I'm not sure I'll be able to break the plants apart, so I got to distribute that a little bit. What I do want to show you today, though, the final thing is what I've done here, and I've shared this with you in the past. So I put the seed here in a centrifuge tube, added water, stirred it up pretty vigorously, and then poured it in each of these dishes. And so what's happened now is the seed that contains the embryos that are heavier has settled to the bottom. So I'll pick these guys up carefully and pour off the remnant liquid. And what's left behind, everything on the bottom of this dish, and I do this carefully so I don't resuspend the embryos, but everything at the bottom of this dish contains the big embryos. And again, I'll get a picture of this. I'm losing, I don't know, a few percent of the nice embryos here, but there's so many of them. I might have lost a lot on that one. That had a lot of liquid in it. That had a lot of liquid in it too, but there's so many of them. It's kind of, it's obscene, and I don't need this many. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. All of the seedlings that I'm going to get from this, there just are going to be so many. But that's all right. I'm tossing so many. And these are my leftover seed here. And what I did with some of the first batches of seed, I actually put just a ton of these seed on media and put it in the fridge. And I'm not going to see how it's going to store. And then what I'm going to do with this last plate is just wrap up the plate and put it in the fridge. This is how you normally store dry seed, but this is fresh seed. This is free seed that was isolated from a capsule that was still green. So I'm not sure how this will work, but I've got some that are just, again, fresh seed in a dry dish or an empty dish, and I've got some that's fresh seed that's on my orchid seed germination medium. Again, sealed and then put in the fridge. So in a few months, I'm gonna pull it out because I need to figure out how to store this fresh seed. Dry seed, again, I know it's the fresh seed that's a little bit of a challenge. So that's it for now. What I'm going to do is I'll bring you back when I replate the Phalaenopsis seedlings. Again, I have to dilute them a little bit, so hold on right there, and I'm going to get these. I need to label the plates, get them wrapped, put them in the other room, and then we'll move on to the Phalaenopsis seed. Okay, and we're back again. So I tried with the Phalaenopsis seed, and I collected some images of the Phalaenopsis seed that have been on this. I actually tried 2 different seed germination media. I tried the germination medium that I developed, that I use, that has a little bit of the different salt formulation and a few other different medium components. And I also have the medium that is P723. And actually what I did was I took the dishes that looked like it had the most dense growth, and that's what I wanted to split. And I just picked the dishes blindly, kind of, and I had 4 of the dishes were Phalaenopsis seeds that I had initially cultured on my medium, and only 1 dish was the P723 dish. So it looks like my medium that I am developing has gives a little better seed germination or swelling of the protocorms, the embryos to generate protocorms. But I took some images of this, and it's just packed. It's a lawn already, and it's only been about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more than 2 weeks, but pretty much just 2 weeks. And there's already a lot of, so the seeds, when I initially plated them, the embryos looked pretty good, but within 2.5 weeks, they just look really, really good at that point. So they're just moving, and they're doing crazy. So I tried to just add water to these dishes, kind of stir up the protocorms, the seed that were on top, and they had already begun to stuck together, so that didn't work. So what I had to do was take a scupula right here, and it was in the hot bead bath. I had to take the scupula, cool it off, and scrape some of the seed off the top, because again they weren't sticking together a lot, but water wasn't enough to resuspend the embryos or the protocorms that are already forming. I then scraped them up, dispersed them in water again, and then plated those seeds out here, and on the same medium, on a combination of the 2 different media. And what I'm doing now is I just poured off the last of the water, but I got really good distribution of the protocorms on this medium. And again, I'm trying the P723 medium compared to my my orchid seed germination medium with subculture. So we'll see how that goes. I've got a little bit more work to do. It was this morning. Now it's this afternoon. I've got one of my colleagues brought in a capsule that was split, so I've got to pull the seed out of those, sterilize the seed, and plate those. And I've got a few other replates that I have to do yet this afternoon. But those are the main things I wanted to show you, was the initial capsule plating, how these Phalaenopsis seeds that were planted a little over 2 weeks, how they're doing. And it's getting busy here, and it's so much fun. So that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video, and happy propagating.